daughter of the treacherous Wang Mang, Empress Wang of Luoyang, Emperor Ping of Han Dynasty. Wang was the daughter of Wang Mang, who later usurped the Han Dynasty to establish a new one, and was the last empress of the Han Dynasty. In 8 BC, the year after Wang's birth, her father, Wang Mang, was already a Grand Secretary. Emperor Morning took the throne when Wang was 3 years old, and Empress Dowager Wang Xingyun became the regent. With the support of his aunt, the Empress Dowager, and the position of Darsima, Wang Mang became an essential figure in the Han Dynasty. In 1 BC, Emperor Yao died in Weiyang Palace, and Liu Ju, the 9-year-old king of Zhongshan, was crowned Emperor Pingdi of the Han Dynasty. Wang Mang, who served as the Grand Secretary of the Imperial Household and the Minister of the Imperial Household, assisted in the administration, manipulating the government and turning the young emperor into a puppet. In the following 3 years, Wang Mang used various means to exclude dissidents, expand his power and strengthen his authority. At this time, Wang was already 12 years old and had become a beautiful young woman. In the fall of the second year of the Yuanqi reign, Emperor Ping of Han was 12 years old. Wang Mang reported to his aunt, Empress Dowager Wang Xingyun, that the emperor had been on the throne for 3 years. Still, his harem was empty, so he suggested that a white selection be made among the prestigious families and descendants of saints to choose an empress who was in line with the will of heaven and who was virtuous and virtuous. Wang Xingyun agreed and set up a particular organization for this purpose. A unique organization was set up for this purpose. The list of qualified women from many families of the Wang clan was selected, and of course, the later Empress Pingdi was also included in the list. Wang Mang was worried that some better qualified women would compete with his daughter for the throne. Hence, he deliberately wrote to Empress Dowager, saying, "I have no talent and no virtue, and my daughter is not as good as others in every aspect, so I should not choose my daughter together with other women." The Empress Dowager ordered her daughter not to run for the election. It was Wang Mang's trick of trying to catch the girl, and he intentionally put her in a different position to attract others' attention. Sure enough, Wang Mang's followers took the opportunity to flatter and create public opinion, encouraging the people to write to Empress Dowager requesting that Wang Mang's daughter be elected, and there were more than 1,000 of them every day. Wang Mang, this plan worked, but the officials argued that they should not choose the second, and Wang Mang's daughter should be established as queen. In response to public opinion, the Empress Dowager formally devised a plan to select Wang Mang's daughter. Thus, at the age of 12, Wang was officially designated as the first choice for empress. In February of the 4th year of the Yuanqi reign, the 13-year-old Wang was welcomed into the palace by a procession led by the Grand Secretary and was installed in the Weiyang Palace, where the Empress Dowager personally conferred the seal of Empress upon her. However, as the father of the nation, Wang Mang's marriage of his daughter to Emperor Ping was not the ultimate goal. His real goal was the long-coveted throne and to prevent the young Emperor Ping from giving birth to an offspring that would disrupt his plan to usurp the throne. He began to plan to bring Emperor Ping to his death. On the 8th day of the 12th month of the 5th year of the Yuanqi reign, commonly known as Laha, Wang Mang offered poisoned wine to Emperor Ping. He was poisoned and became bedridden and soon collapsed in the Weiyang Palace. As a result, Wang lost her husband and her honorable position after only 22 months as empress. Wang Mang then made the 2-year-old Liu Ying the crown prince and made Wang the Empress Dowager. In 80 AD, Wang Mang abolished Liu Ying and became the emperor himself, changing the Han Dynasty to a new one. And Wang was demoted to Empress Dowager of the Duke of Anding. At this time, Wang was not yet 20 years old, and because of her loyalty to the Han Dynasty and her dissatisfaction with her father's usurpation of power, she claimed to be ill and stayed away from the door. Wang Mang was worried and angry with her. As his daughter, she not only did not support him, but also blamed herself for her treacherous behavior, which had become an obstacle to the stability of the new dynasty. For this reason, Wang Mang changed her title to Imperial Princess, meaning she was the unmarried princess of the new emperor Wang Mang, not the Empress Dowager of the Han Dynasty. He also gave Wang expensive gifts, but she refused to accept them, so Wang Mang had to let them go. In the 3rd year of Wang Mang's reign, there was a severe drought and locust plague, and the people revolted. The descendants of the Liu clan, a member of the Han family, took advantage of the situation and started a crusade against Wang Mang. Shandong LV Mu, the Red Eyebrows, the Green Army, and Liu Xiu, a member of the Han family, also took advantage of the opportunity to rise, and the new dynasty was in danger of being overthrown by natural and artificial disasters. In September of the first year of the reign, the Green Army attacked Chang'an and the whole court fled. The soldiers of the Green Army smashed the door with axes and shouted to the traitor Wang Mang to come out and surrender. At that time, the door of Wangyang Palace was already on fire, and Empress Xiaoping, or Wang clan, looked back on her own life and realized that although she was loyal to the Han dynasty, she was the daughter of the traitor Wang Mang. So how could she explain this to the whole world? She sighed and jumped into the fire, ending her short, painful, and turbulent life. After her death, Wang was buried in Emperor Ping's calm mausoleum. Following her husband in fear, Empress Wang of Wang Mang, the new emperor of the Han dynasty. The wife of General Wang Mang was from a famous family. Her father, Wang Xian, was the Marquis of Yishun, and her great-grandfather, Wang Zedyu, was a prime minister. In the first year of Emperor Cheng's Sui reign 8 BC, Wang Zhen resigned from his post, and Wang Mang became the Grand Secretary General. However, he was unsatisfied and coveted the dragon throne in Wangyang Palace. He put on an appearance of respect and frugality to deceive the world. He wanted his wife to be simple and wear coarse clothes every day to look like a slave to make a name for himself. Unexpectedly, Wang Mang was ousted from his post as the Chief Secretary for Justice after only a year or so. Mrs. Wang moved to Shindu with Wang Mang and remained as simple as ever. She was saddened that her second son, Wang Yu, was forced to commit suicide by Wang Mang. It turned out that Wang Yu was angry for some reason and killed a slave of his family. But Wang Mang wanted to use this incident to enhance his reputation. He scolded his son and insisted that Wang Yu pay for his death. Mrs. Wang loved her son, but did not dare to disobey her husband. Wang Yu had no choice but to commit suicide. Mrs. Wang cried all day long. After Emperor Lian acceded to the throne, Dong Shan, the most important official in the court, needed to be more competent. The ministers of the government wrote letters to demand Wang Mang's reappointment. Under pressure, the emperor called Wang Mang back to Chang'an, the capital, in the name of serving the Empress Dowager. Wang Mang returned to Chang'an with his wife and children. In the second year of Yuanshu 1 BC, Emperor Mian was seriously ill, and Empress Dowager Wang Zhengyun came to Wangyang Palace on the day of Emperor Mian's death, and ordered that military and political power be handed over to her nephew, Wang Mang. Wang Mang regained the throne of the Grand Secretary. He and Wang Zhengyun installed the 9-year-old king of Zhongshan, Yu Yu, as Emperor Ping. Wang Mang took charge of the state as the Grand Secretary. In the first year of the Yuanqi reign, Wang became the wife of the Duke of Anhan. And in the fourth year of the Yuanqi reign, Wang Mang's daughter was married to Emperor Ping of the Han Dynasty and became his empress. However, a succession of things made Mrs. Wang sad and angry. After Emperor Ping of Han became the emperor, Wang Mang used the previous lesson to prevent the relatives from competing for power, and forbade Emperor Ping's mother, Wei's and Uncle Wei Biao from entering the capital, letting them stay in Yongshan. Wei missed her young son and wept bitterly. Wang Mang's eldest son, Wang Yu, felt that Wang Mang's move was not good. So he instructed Wei Biao to write a letter requesting to enter the capital. Wang Mang still did not allow it. Wang Yu's teacher, Wu Zhang, said, "Nai Wang believes in ghosts and gods. So let's sprinkle blood on the door of the house and say that we will not allow Wei to enter the capital, which will offend the heavens." Wang Yu also knew his father was superstitious and asked his brother-in-law, Lu Guan, to do this. When the matter was exposed, Wang Mang ordered LV Guan to be arrested, and LV Guan confessed to Wang Yu. Wang Mang was furious and ordered Wang Yu and his wife, Lu Yan, to be sentenced to death. Wang Yu committed suicide by drinking medicine, while Lu Yan was spared because she was pregnant with a child. Her second son, Wang Yu, was forced to commit suicide, and her eldest son, Wang Yu, was forced to die after offending and angering Wang Mang for the fate of the Wang family and her poor daughter-in-law and unborn grandson. A series of blows made Mrs. Wang feel very sad and angry, Before she could break free from her grief, Emperor Ping of Han was killed by Wang Mang. Her daughter was 14 years old and became a widow. Mrs. Wang's grief and anger were so great that she wept and cried all day, gradually losing her sight in both eyes. Married to such an ambitious husband, she could not even get the happiness of an average person. Wang Mang killed Emperor Ping of the Han Dynasty and set up Liu Ying, who was only 2 years old, as the Ruzi and became the regent emperor, and Mrs. Wang also became the regent empress. Wang Mang's intention to stand on his own feet on behalf of the Han Dynasty was well known. At this time, the aged Empress Dowager Wang Shengyin was already famous and powerless, and had little power to stop Wang Mang from doing what he did. In the 3rd year of his reign, A.D., Wang Mang came to the front hall of the Wang Palace, put on the emperor's crown and sat on the dragon chair, announcing that heaven had appointed him to replace the Han Dynasty and that he had decided to give the state the name Xin, with December as the 1st month of the 1st year of the state's existence. On the 1st day of the 1st month of the following year, a grand ceremony was held in the front hall of the Wang Palace to ascend the new emperor to the throne. Wang was appointed empress of the new dynasty, and her youngest son, Wang Lin, was appointed crown prince. The title of empress did not bring Wang any joy or honor. She was blinded by cares and had to spend her days under the care of Crown Prince Wang Lin. In the 1st month of the 2nd year of Emperor Di's reign, 21 C. Di Wang, who had been the empress of the new dynasty for 13 years, died. After her death, she was buried next to Empress Dowager Wang Zhengyun in a mausoleum named Yanyan. Loss of love and loss of lust. Guo Shengtong, Empress of Liu Shu, Emperor Guangwu of the Eastern Han Dynasty. The Guo family was one of the most prestigious families in Zhending. When Guo Chan became the head of the family, after inheriting his father's business, he gave away millions of dollars in land and property to his estranged brother, praised by the whole country. Guo Chan became so famous that he was awarded the title of Gongxi Ao, an official in charge of elections. King Liu Piyu of Zhending recruited Guo Chan as his emperor's son-in-law. Guo Chan became a prince's wife, and his wife was called Guozhu. Although she was a daughter of the king's family, she behaved with courtesy and had the virtue of a mother. She gave birth to a daughter named Shengtong and a son named Guofeng. In 23 AD, during the Xinming period, when the world was in great turmoil, Liu Lin, a 7th-generation grandson of Emperor Jingdi, and others installed Wang Lang, a native of Han and today's Hebei, as emperor and ruled northern China. The following year, Liu Shu, the general of the broken captive, led his troops to attack Wang Lang. When the army reached Zhending, Liu Shu heard that there was a beautiful girl in Guo's family, so he went to the door to ask for her hand in marriage. Liu Shu took Guo Shengtong as his wife and favored her very much. In the following year, Liu Shu, under the encouragement of a group of generals and colonels, including Ma Wu and Wu Han, assumed the throne of the emperor in Langxian County southeast of present-day Gaodi, Hebei province, and appointed Guo Shengtong as a noblewoman. In the same year, Guo gave birth to her first son, Liu Qiang, who was over 30 years old. Liu Shu was overjoyed to have a son. The mother was honored by her son. In the 6th month of the following year, the Guangwu emperor, Liu Shu, made Shengtong the empress and Liu Qiang the crown prince, granting amnesty to all. Thus, Shengtong became the empress of the world, and her half-brother, Guofeng, was made a vassal, and was appointed as the captain of the city gate, guarding the 12 gates of the city of Luowang with his troops. Empress Shengtong was not as beautiful as the noblewoman Yin Lihua, and she was honored with the title of empress mainly because she gave birth to Liu Qiang, the first son of Liu Shu. As time passed, Empress Shengtong's face faded, and her already unattractive appearance became even more mediocre, eclipsing the beauty of her harem. Liu Shu, the Guangwu emperor, was a heroic lord who also loved women. His favorite, Yin Lihua, gave birth to a son, Liu Xuan, when he was 34. Emperor Guangwu became increasingly disgusted with Empress Shengtong and favored Yin Lihua and other beauties. Empress Shengtong, who was left out, was resentful. She was jealous of the beautiful concubines, especially Yin Lihua. When the concubines saw her, they were like chickens bumping into eagles. Behind their backs, they could not help but say bad things about her. The reputation of Empress Shengtong was getting worse and worse, and Emperor Guangwu heard about it from time to time. In 41 AD, Liu Shu, the Guangwu emperor, decided to abolish Empress Shengtong and install Yin Lihua. He issued an imperial decree in which he counted all the crimes of Empress Shengtong and said that people like her were not worthy of being empresses and mothers of the world. He ordered Dai Shibi, the chief minister of the imperial court, and Liu Ji, the head minister of the imperial court, to collect the empress's seal, abrogate her throne, and demote her to be the empress of the king of Zhongshan. He ordered Dai Qi, the grand secretary of state, to take the empress's seal, abrogate her position, and demote her to queen of Zhongshan. Later, Liu Shu, Guangwu emperor, remembering that Empress Guo had given birth to several royal children for himself, and had accompanied and followed him for many years, also felt that the empress owed her something. So he consoled the Guo family with generous treatment by appointing Guo Feng, the brother of the Empress Guo's mother, as the Grand Honglu, and rewarded him with abundant gold, silver, and silk, which made Guo Feng's house known as the Golden Cave. And he also appointed Guo Jing, his cousin, and his brother, Guo Quan, to be the Grand Honglu, and rewarded him with abundant gold, silver, and silk. The people of the time called Guo Feng's residence Golden Cave. They also made Guo Jing, his cousin, and Guo Quan, his younger brother, marquises, and they made the Empress Dowager of Pian. All this was a comfort to Shengtong. In 52 AD, Shengtong died of depression at the age of 46. Her grave was at Beimang Mountain, north of Luoyang, and she was later buried in the imperial tombs.